Hi, and welcome to the presentation where, over the next 30 minutes or so, we'll discuss how you and your organization can address your current business challenges with the 3DExperience platform and specific ENOVIA applications. Today, you are in the experience economy where your customers expect more. If you sell a commodity where price is the only consideration, you are under constant margin stress. And delivering products that perform a function but offer no sustainable competitive advantage will lead to failure in price wars and low customer retention. Today, to be successful, you need to design more than a product. You need to provide a holistic experience that delights your customers. The reality is that most companies are still focusing on the design with a product-centric approach, where engineering teams are given a set of requirements and deliver products that meet the request but are often complex to use, only offered in predetermined configurations, and technically validated with physical prototypes, but not against how the product will actually be experienced by the user. What is needed is a customer-centric approach, where the needs and purpose are well understood thanks to deeper understanding of the customer's needs, where complexity and standard offerings are replaced by personalized and simplified experiences that are tailored to the individual, and where the holistic customer experience, including product, usage, and ownership, are fully validated in a virtual environment before any physical prototypes are made. This is the objective in the experience economy, to exceed expectations and delight your customers. Now, the role of the engineer is already challenging. A recent survey shows that as much as 30% of their time is spent on non-value-added tasks. Now, there are many factors contributing to this inefficiency. For one, it can be very difficult to find relevant designs for reuse or repurpose. And design properties are encapsulated in a file and not easily found. Plus, the properties may not be up to date or reflect the latest design. When it comes to collaboration, the file-based check-in and check-out processes are time-consuming and they prevent real-time collaboration. This results in a higher amount of preventable rework. To report a project status, engineers must provide manual updates and attend time-consuming meetings, taking away from valuable design time. Even so, the project is difficult to forecast with manual guesswork and often results in rework because issues are discovered too late. And inefficiencies exist between the engineer and suppliers, as suppliers continue to work on older files and do not have the latest design information. This most often leads to unnecessary rework and poor product quality. And if that isn't enough, now with a focus on the customer experience, this places enormous stress on your engineers. They must move beyond designing the form and fit of the product. They must now design the function and behavior of the product. They must also be expert collaborators, rapidly connecting with experts and customers to derive solutions, share relevant design information, and incorporate feedback into new iterations. They must be able to analyze vast amounts of data, develop insights on customer needs. And engineers must be able to virtually simulate and validate the product behavior to confirm it meets the design functions and provides an outstanding experience. How can they do all of this with less time, more product complexity, and less budget than ever before? Your engineers need a new solution to achieve these objectives. Now, the reality is that there have been systems put in place for engineers. You are probably familiar with Product Data Management, or PDM, to manage documents and provide secure access to data. PLM, or Product Lifecycle Management, adds engineering processes to help manage bills of materials, issues, requirements, and projects. The challenge is that these two things, PDM and PLM, have been designed to only help build better products. They still do not address the challenges for the experience economy. This is why you need the 3DExperience platform. The platform provides data-driven and model-based PLM to help you ensure long-term business success. So what does it mean to be model-based? Well, model-based means moving beyond static designs. Take this brake as an example. Everyone has tools to manage better geometry, to analyze the stresses, and come up with a better design. But does this make a better driving experience? And what about reusing the design? How can you understand the design intent and performance characteristics from the static design? Well, with a model-based system, the entire experience can be modeled to validate that your developments actually meet customer expectations. It allows the brake to be connected to the wheel, to the suspension, to the chassis, to the road, and for all of these interactions and behaviors to be modeled with virtual technologies. This enables the validation of the experience across varying usage conditions, allowing the best options to be chosen early in the design process, shortening your time to market and helping to ensure a successful product in the market. Now, data-driven means you access information directly without having to search, open, and scan physical files. Now, you have direct access to, and have come to expect, data-driven applications in your everyday life. Unfortunately, the engineering world is still in a file-based world that has not yet caught up. Take, for example, how you watch movies today. In the past, you needed specific media and a player. Well, with data-driven capabilities, you stream movies directly to whatever device you want. You don't need to download a movie file. You can even pause on one device and play back on another device. The data of your progress is tracked. Think about airline travel. Remember those paper tickets you had to get in the mail? And if you forgot it at home, you weren't going anywhere. Well, with data-driven approaches, you don't even need a paper printout at all. It is all mobile and available anywhere. And if you do need a paper printout, you can print it. The paper is no longer the master. It's all data-driven. And for bank statements, well, in the past, to reconcile your checkbook, you had to wait to get your statement in the mail, and then manually go through the transactions one by one. In a data-driven world, you go online, you get an immediate update, let your system automatically reconcile everything for you. There are no files, just data. And both model-based and data-driven capabilities are combined into the 3DExperience platform, improving your engineering productivity and enabling you to virtually validate the customer experience. ENOVIA, on the 3DExperience platform, functions as a business solution enabling you to drive innovation and profitable growth, and ultimately enhance your value proposition to your customers. ENOVIA brings a complete portfolio of data-driven apps to help you define and achieve your success. ENOVIA includes 6 business themes to help you to drive innovation and profitable growth. On the left are apps for working with your customers, on the right for suppliers, and in the middle for working internally. Now, the best place to get started is to better control your design and engineering management in the context of product planning. These are the essential applications to take the first data-driven steps for the experience economy. And as your needs grow, you can easily take advantage of other applications. First, you take your various engineering files, your documents, CAD files, project plans, etc., and you connect them to the 3DExperience platform. This allows you to get control and to manage your files. But more importantly, it helps you to reveal the data from those files and then leverage that data into the ENOVIA data-driven applications. And doing this will allow you to take full advantage of the ENOVIA data-driven approach while maintaining your current file-based documents. With the 3DExperience platform in ENOVIA, your collaboration is more effective, helping to foster innovation which results in higher product sales. You can improve your decision-making by identifying and resolving issues earlier, improving quality, and reducing development time. Productivity improves with a data-driven design approach, enabling you to get to market more quickly and gain a competitive advantage. You can eliminate errors in your bill of materials, avoiding unnecessary development costs and delays. And by connecting tasks, people, and deliverables, your cycle time is reduced, resulting in an earlier break-even and higher profits. So let's begin by examining how your collaboration will become more effective, helping to foster innovation in your company that will ultimately result in products your customers want to buy, which will drive higher product sales. When working with customers in the experience economy, your product managers need to understand the customer needs. And social collaboration is the best way to achieve this, where everyone can share and develop ideas to obtain a deep understanding of needs, wants, and priorities. When you collaborate with engineering, information sharing must be clear, unambiguous, and well managed, and this must be done in a more structured way. The 3DExperience platform supports both social and structured collaboration in one complete system. It allows all stakeholders to be in their familiar environments while supporting connected collaboration throughout the process, so your customers and your engineers can be more closely connected and working towards achieving the ideal outcomes. On the social collaboration side, you can explore different ideas with your customers in communities and blogs. You can leverage search to access content from all kinds of sources, internal and external. You can integrate all of this real-time data and information in a dashboard so that it can be intelligently analyzed in an easy-to-consume format. On the structured collaboration side, you are able to manage and organize shared documents and structured product data, and creation of digital workspaces for virtual teams to work together. You can easily raise issues, organize meetings, and track decisions, while any object in the system can be formally approved using ad hoc or predefined routes. You have all of the necessary capabilities for collaborating in a more structured way to securely control and manage product information. Through social and structured collaboration, you have a deeper customer understanding, which leads to exceeding customer expectations and improving your success rate. Now let's take a closer look at idea management and dashboards on the social side and issue management on the structured side. What you see here are a number of social communities where you can connect ideas and people and information together, and all the information here being shared is accessed in the form of a blog where you can see information that someone is sharing on some new technology, thoughts, providing information, and any one of these things can be promoted or converted into an idea. And now you can see all the ideas that are being put together that could be possibilities for a next generation of a product, and users can select any one of these ideas and they can vote on them by liking them. They can put in their information about some thoughts or feedback and comments around this, and it's all very basic social type of collaboration and dialogue that's going on. Now, any of these ideas can start to be promoted down through the idea funnel to be something that could be more realistic or more ready or more popular or higher priority to now put into a more formal requirement. And this is where the magic happens, is that from this social system on the platform, you push this one button here to convert this idea and transfer it as a requirement on the structured side of the platform and maintain that link. So now the engineers have a requirement that they can go and formally consume and implement in the next generation of the product, but have all the information of the context of how this became a requirement in the first place. In this way, the full context is made available, and from the original concept and thought to the idea to the requirement can be fully traced into the actual implementation to help ensure customer satisfaction and success of that product in the market. The 3D dashboard provides a number of ways for users to create information contexts by which they can trace and track and have overview of all the information that's relevant for them for a given project. Here you see the user has created a dashboard for some social media feeds, so Facebook feed, a Twitter feed, a YouTube feed, and these feeds are accessible and can be searchable on that dashboard. Now, to create a dashboard, it's a very simple drag and drop process. Here you can drag and drop a widget into a variety of areas. You can tailor it so it could be 1 column, 2 column, 3 column, whatever layout you want. And in this case, this is just a widget that's showing the various communities that the user is a member of, so they could click on that and now go in more deep depth on the community. They can also click in the community and see additional content of that. Another type of widget is one where you can put an iframe and have a web page in there. You can also have RSS news feeds brought into the widget as well. And all these things become accessible, they can be searchable, and these dashboards can be put together to have all the relevant information at a glance that can then be shared with anyone else that's interested. You can also connect external information in. Here's a dashboard showing some health and safety metrics and information that is not stored inside the platform, but is coming from other systems. But it can all be collected onto a single dashboard, so all the relevant metrics or KPIs or related information in media can be accessed in one single location. The issues management system has a very simple but very elegant dashboard for you to be able to connect and select and triage the issues that you're participating in, all from a simple dashboard where the information comes directly to you to take action. Here's what one of our customers from Daewoo said about their ability to collaborate using the 3DExperience platform. Faster response and improved productivity. Think how your customers would feel with a faster response time and what you could do with the extra available resources. That's how, by connecting social and structured collaboration into one system, your collaboration is more effective, helping to foster innovation, which results in higher product sales. Let's see how you can improve your decision-making by identifying and resolving issues earlier, improving quality, and reducing development time. Now, to make better decisions, you need to be working with the most up-to-date data. And as you build the physical design, you need to collaborate on it. You spend a lot of time and energy collecting and reviewing files that are often out of sync with the rest of the enterprise data. Now, additional stakeholders like project managers, product managers, supplier representatives, and so on may not use CAD tools or have access to the latest files, making it difficult to discover and resolve issues on that set of data. The result may be incorrect decisions and unnecessary delays in finding the issues and taking appropriate actions. With ENOVIA, your team has lightweight access to the latest 3D product definition to review the design and discover errors as early as possible. So while you are now managing your file-based CAD files in the platform, you'll be able to leverage that with a data-driven design review by stakeholders from any location with access to the system, with no need for cumbersome file exchanges. With real-time collaborative digital mockup, your cross-functional teams discover issues earlier in the design process and resolve them more quickly than before, bringing major reductions to design times. Here is a building manager that has taken a supplier plumbing fixtures and inserted it into the design of a stadium and found some interferences, and wants to communicate these interferences to the supplier for corrective action and redesign. So here the building manager can create a data-driven design review simply by retrieving that interference that was found and using that to provide a real-time data visualization on top of the 3D model itself. And this can be captured and stored as data on top of the model and can be annotated by that manager so that he can share that directly with the supplier, who can then reference this and take action, all without sharing any files and just simply by looking at the data that's attached to the 3D model. So when the supplier provides a new version of the design, the building manager can take this geometry and use the review tool to overlay the two pieces of geometry and analyze and compare that so that he can see what's changed before he incorporates that into the assembly of the design. And the 3D compare shows that the pipe has been lowered, so the building manager can incorporate this new file as a new version of that plumbing fixture. He can then go and retrieve that interference check that he was done, and the data-driven nature of the interference check will look at that latest file and recheck the interference, and it will indeed show now that it's been solved. So let's see what one of our customers from NIEP says about the benefits of the ENOVIA design review. Imagine your organization being able to provide feedback in real time and work out problems faster than ever. That's how access to the most up-to-date data helps you improve your decision-making by identifying and resolving issues earlier, improving quality, and reducing development time. Now let's see how productivity improves with a data-driven design approach, enabling you to get to market more quickly and to gain a competitive advantage. If you have a file-based CAD system, working collaboratively is challenging at best. Here we have two designers that want to work on the same assembly file. First, they both need a copy of the files to be checked out from the system. The designer on the left locks and revises one part of the assembly. The designer on the right locks and revises another part of the assembly. Now the designer on the right happens to complete the work first and locks the assembly. Then updates the structure of the assembly to attach the new part revision. The designer then checks in the new files to the system. And what happens to the designer on the left? Now, a time-consuming and challenging task begins for that designer to reconcile their changes into the new revision and check in another set of files. The reality of this approach is often leads designers to lock out the entire assembly to avoid being stuck with this difficult update process. And when this happens, then no collaborative design can occur at all, and productivity suffers. Imagine if you give your designers a better CAD system, one that is data-driven. They are then connected to the 3DExperience platform, and the assembly is in the system, but is not stored as files. It is stored as data. And when they want to collaborate, they simply stream the data to their workstations, where they can each do their work and make their revisions and save their data back to the platform. And all users can easily get access to the latest data and update their designs in session. No dealing with files, no difficult manual reconciliation efforts. This data-driven CAD approach generates productivity improvements from 30 to 50%. Here you see the modification of a parameter for the drum thickness from 230 millimeters to 235 millimeters. Now this parameter is being tracked as data as part of the requirements that are being driven to modify the design. Now this parameter data is connected to the data-driven CAD to modify the geometry, and these two designers are going to work collaboratively, one on the brake drum and one on the brake shoe. So when we look at the user designing and updating the brake drum, you can see that this external data, the parameter, is connected, and the current value of 230 millimeters, and this parameter data is connected to the geometry, and you can see that the radius of this brake drum is being controlled by that parameter. When the designer says he wants to update the design, this goes to the system and will stream down the new parameter data and use that to modify the geometry. And you can see that the 235 millimeter value is now there. Meanwhile, another designer is working on the brake shoe to solve another requirement to modify some of the properties of this braking system. So here the user is going to modify some geometry, and we'll save this to the system. Now they're not saving the file, they're saving the dimensional data. And when these two users save this information and update their designs, the system will provide information. So the brake shoe guy sees that there's a new brake drum, the one working on the brake drum sees there's new brake shoes, and they can see that context and choose to update the data that's in their session. And this will update the data in their session, and they'll be able to then continue to work on their designs to accommodate whatever other changes are going on. And this way they can achieve true collaboration with no files and have fully data-driven CAD. But don't take my word for it. Here's what Paul from Tesla had to say. Would your organization benefit from being more creative and more productive? Data-driven CAD helps productivity improve with a data-driven design approach, enabling you to get to market more quickly and to gain a competitive advantage. With the 3DExperience platform and ENOVIA, you can eliminate errors in your bill of materials, avoiding unnecessary development costs and delays. Your designers interact with the product engineer through a bill of materials. With file-based collaboration, the designers create a product structure in CAD that produces an engineering bill of materials, often as a file or a spreadsheet. When the product structure changes, your product engineer must then make manual corrections to the BOM. They may also add non-CAD related items, such as lubricants, that are not reflected in the CAD model. The manual modifications lead to repeated BOM errors and mismatch problems. The time finding and correcting BOM mismatches significantly impacts your development cycle time and product quality. The problem of BOM and CAD mismatch between the product structure and the EBOM goes away with the ENOVIA data-driven approach, where the designer's data and the engineer's bill of material data are connected through the platform. When a designer makes a change to the product structure, the change is propagated and reflected into the EBOM, with no manual effort or file exchanges. And when the engineer updates the EBOM, that change can be propagated to the standard product structure, allowing the designer to make revisions as needed. The BOM serves as the single version of the truth, providing an always up-to-date and accurate source of product information. Now, this information can still be extracted as files for integration with other file-based processes. Multiple design configurations can be effectively managed, allowing you to control design variations and achieve simultaneous product launches. And the ability to integrate to your ERP system for manufacturing independent business processes also becomes possible. With the data-driven approach, you remove barriers between organizations, eliminate CAD-BOM mismatch due to manual data entry, and drive out errors in your process. And here's what the CIO at Bell Helicopter had to say about this. That is how ENOVIA helps to eliminate errors in your bill of materials, avoiding unnecessary development costs and delays. Now let's examine how by connecting tasks, people, and deliverables, your cycle time is reduced, resulting in an earlier break-even and higher profits. Here is your typical product lifecycle, and you have a planned launch date. But with ENOVIA, your launch date moves forward. The great news is you get to market earlier, which reduces your costs. Your break-even also moves forward, so you're driving profits earlier, and you get to higher profits even sooner. And your product's time in the market is extended. And that's why you really need ENOVIA and the 3DExperience platform. When it comes to resource planning and assigning tasks, it can be very difficult to connect resources managed in one system to projects managed in another system to the deliverables that are managed in yet another system. Unfortunately, all of these disconnects can throw the initial planning out of date, making it inaccurate and unmanageable. With a data-driven project management system, resources can be assigned to tasks in a work breakdown structure. And what makes ENOVIA unique is the ability to connect deliverables to their respective tasks, deliverables such as requirements, design data, and other documents. In this way, the progress of every deliverable is automatically updated. And this eliminates the need for your project managers to manually track the status of every task and enables you to achieve invisible governance to your project. No more surprises, no more outdated and incorrect information. Your project managers get real-time project status updates without time-consuming manual efforts. Here you see all of the information that's been assigned to the user collected here in this side panel on the user's home page. And the user can interact with that and click and see the relevant tasks of interest. For example, tasks that are nearly complete that they might want to go and finish, view those deliverables, release them, and complete those tasks, or provide a percentage status update so the project manager and invisible governance can automatically broadcast that. The user can have access to all tasks across all projects, and again can see what's going on, can have access to information, and provide all necessary updates, and nothing will be able to slip through the cracks through the system. Here you see how invisible governance is able to collect all of the project-related information and automatically build this dashboard, where you can see the progress in the Gantt chart, you can see the progress in the work and task completion, you can see the status of tasks, milestones, and you can also have access to whatever business status, whether it be budget, risk, benefit, or other project assessments, that the project manager can now focus on doing this work instead of trying to track the statuses of things. In this way, the project manager can be much more effective to guide the project to success than just try to chase down information from all the project members. Here you see the work breakdown structure that can be expanded, and you see all of the related deliverables that are being tracked by given tasks. And you can see the percent complete of the various task progresses, and the project manager can actually open and review these documents that are related to the tasks. They can have access to the complete Gantt chart and have a view of where they are and tracking the progress of those tasks and dependencies. And every project can have folders, and these folders can be used to collect additional relevant information about the project and provide access to team members. Another benefit to you of the data-driven approach is the ability for the designers to get access to project information right on their desktops. Here, they can directly access all elements associated with the project, such as the 3D design data, folders containing project-specific information and documents, specifications, and other deliverables, and all of the tasks associated to the project. Everything can be seen in context to the project work breakdown structure, where relationships can be made through simple drag-and-drop actions. For example, if your designer is assigned a task to model a product, they can drag the design data right on top of the task to create the relationship and enable invisible governance. Think how much more productive your engineers will become when they can access all of their project information from one place like this. Here you see an entirely new way to work in the context of a project. Here a worker wants to take an existing document on their disk and connect it as a deliverable to the system design task. By merely dragging and dropping the document onto this system design task, two things happen. One, the document is automatically checked into the system, so the user doesn't even have to worry about that data management. And two, this document is now connected as a deliverable to this task. You can then see this document in context to the system design task. You can see the relationship on the turntable. And you see there's another task here which is released for review. Now this user had already done a design review and wants to connect the design review to the actual task so that invisible governance can be broadcast upwards to the project manager for overall progression and tracking. So this design review can be dragged and dropped and connected now as a deliverable. So this bottom-up approach allows the users to see the tasks that they're responsible for and to start to connect all the work they're doing so that the project manager doesn't have to track them down. Because the project manager can now see in the work breakdown structure these deliverables automatically in their view because the user made that attachment that you saw previously. And this all rolls into the project dashboard. So you can see now this middle section for the deliverables. You can see the tasks of all the deliverables. And the project manager can narrow this down and, for example, look at deliverables due this month. And this will show the deliverables including the two deliverables that were just added by that user. So now we have full invisible governance in this data-driven project. Here are some examples of observed customer benefits realized by reducing cycle time with ENOVIA. Consider the time it takes to successfully complete a project and launch your product. One company accelerated their delivery of their product to market by 14%. When you consider the time it takes to develop and turn around proposals, another one of our customers experienced a 50% reduction in its proposal turnaround time. With that improved productivity, think about how many projects you can bid on per year. By fully deploying the ENOVIA solution, another company increased the number of programs they were able to bid on by 25%. And when you consider the time savings to manage a project, thanks to invisible governance, one company reduced their time spent by close to a third. Shop is managing complex construction projects with ENOVIA. Let's read what they have to say. Limitless potential. Imagine your organization taking benefit from higher productivity and leading toward improved business success for your company. And that's how, by connecting tasks, people, and deliverables, ENOVIA helps to reduce your cycle time, resulting in an earlier break-even and higher profits. In conclusion, you have seen how the 3DExperience platform in ENOVIA will make your collaboration more effective, fostering innovation which results in higher product sales. You can improve your decision-making by identifying and resolving issues earlier, improving quality, and reducing development time. Productivity improves with a data-driven design approach, enabling you to get to market more quickly and gain a competitive advantage. You can eliminate errors in your bill of materials, avoiding unnecessary development costs and delays. And by connecting tasks, people, and deliverables, your cycle time is reduced, resulting in an earlier break-even and higher profits. Now, the only question I have is, when do you want to get started?